Hey Gene, I figured I'd give you a video that make things easier because it took me a minute to finally figure out how to make some decent cups. So I'm gonna set this, actually I'm gonna spin it. So, let's set it right there. Alright, so turn it on. This is my machine, by the way. It's the Barista Express. I think yours is a little fancier, but they pretty much do the same thing. My grind setting is over here. I've got it on a 2 out of 10. So almost as fine as it could be. Tends to work well for this Armando's blend. And go all the way up to 10. Or actually it goes more than that. I've never done that. It goes up to 16. And I've got it on 2 out of 16. So espresso needs to be really, really fine. If you're doing like French press coffee, you would want it coarse. Just about all the way coarse. But we're doing espresso, so we got it on a 2. Tends to work well. I've got mine on the grind amount. So this is how long. These are usually in seconds for how long it grinds. I've actually got the double filter in here, the portafilter, and I've got the double basket. You can change it to the single basket, which is a little bit smaller, but actually we may do that. We'll do a single. So snap the single in there. You tap it on the button. And it'll grind for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds. Take it down. That's about right for a single. So then you got to tamp it. Got Bird and Bean said you want to do about 30 pounds of pressure. I think that's a little much. There's really no right way to do it. Just give it a good little squeeze. You want it nice and even. You don't want it to be like cattywampus like that, because the espresso will slide down to one side. So just make sure it's nice and even and give it a good push down. Back on the magnet. So it's nice and even and packed. So we can lock it in place. Here's our single. I got a single and a double shot button. So we'll use our little glass. I like mine short and stout. We just change the amount of milk in a minute. So you hit the single. So what you want to see is the pressure go up a little bit. At first, it's basically just going to wet the espresso, and then the pressure will jump up quite a bit. That's when it's going to start making the crema, and you can see it started getting a little more tan as it drips in here. That was a little bit quick. I could actually cut it down to the finest one. Typically, you want the espresso to take about 20 seconds, 20 30 seconds or so to brew. That was probably just under that. But you can see it's got a nice little crema on the top. So undo that, don't need it anymore. Take that and we'll hit our knock box and wash that. There's my wife. I'm out in the RV, by the way. So I don't need much milk for a single shot, a little small one like this. So I'll take my milk. And actually to sweeten mine, I usually just use some creamer. This is just like Irish cream. It's not my, it's pretty good. I typically like the International Delight sweet cream one. That one is really good. It's just kind of rich and kind of sweet, and you don't have to add any sugar and stuff like that afterwards. So flip that one to steam. Let it prime. Yours is probably a little bit quicker. We got these in Spain. They were hand painted. One of our souvenirs. This is gonna make that hard to do. So you tuck it just barely underneath the milk, and it sounds like tearing construction paper. And that's called tearing the milk or ripping the milk. And it's blowing in air as it steams it. And you only need to do that for a few seconds, and then you can dunk it further underneath. That's a little bit quieter. You use the steel cup to feel it somewhere about 150 to 160 degrees. If you actually got a meat thermometer, they're good to use to keep in there until you finally get the feel of how hot the milk is. You need to blow the air in at the beginning. You need to do it at the beginning and not the end, because barista said that once milk gets hot, it doesn't hold the air as well. It doesn't foam and froth as nice for a cappuccino or whatever once it's already hot. So you do it early. and then just dunk it. And I actually usually go like, I don't know, in the morning, take my Nexium because I have heartburn, or blow dry my hair real quick while this steams. Yours, I think, may be a little more powerful, so it might be. So this is getting pretty hot now. Pretty darn hot to the touch. Take it out. Kind of tap it. And it's supposed to look kind of like wet paint. That's a little bit thin, actually. So I could have actually blew more air in it than I did. Give it a few taps. I wouldn't try the latte art until later. Do what I do. But that'll do it. There, it's kind of bubbly. Actually, I didn't do very good. Not my best. But anyway, hope this helps.